My name's Corey with Kurzweil Education, and Cami is going to be doing the presentation on tips to focus, achieve, maintain, and stay focused, and just a few tools within Kurzweil that really help people stay focused in a unique and easy to use for our tools.
Thanks for the introduction, Corey, and thanks to all that are participating today. I'm part of Kurzweil's sales team and work throughout New England, as well as many of the states in the Southeast. During today's 30-minute session, I'll cover how to stay focused when reading. There are numerous tips out there on how to stay focused while reading, and a short list of common suggestions are getting rid of obvious distractions, choosing the right environment, taking short breaks, and or possibly using a visual cue to guide your eyes. Today within Kurzweil, I'll demonstrate the customization of reading preferences. I'll focus on active participation in reading and the summarization of text. So I'll go ahead and get started with some of the preferences, and by customizing reading to your own preferences, it's often helpful with attention and comprehension. So you can see here, I've already logged into Kurzweil3000.com, which is the web version of Kurzweil. And I'm simply going to start by reading, and we can take a look at the current settings. So I'll keep the voice here to Heather, but it was going too quickly for me in terms of the rate of speech. And I'm going to change that reading speed back to normal. Kurzweil's reading speed is measured in words per minute, and the default or normal reading speed is 170 words per minute. So I'm going to just adjust that back down, and I'll also adjust the unit and mode. So the unit is the way the text is highlighted, and I'm going to change that from a paragraph over to a sentence, and I'll also change the mode into a continuous reading mode. The reading mode is the method by which Kurzweil reads through a document. And I'll go ahead and begin reading again.
The influenza or flu pandemic of 1918 to 1919, the deadliest in modern history, infected an estimated 500 million people worldwide, about 1/3 of the planet's population at the time.
Okay, and I'll pause. So Kurzweil offers additional reading preferences, and 3 more I'll show today are the document zoom, the background color, and dark mode. Changing the zoom and color can definitely help with both focus and readability. So I'm going to visit the document view button, and under the document view button, the first thing I'm going to do is uncheck or deselect fit width. And by doing that, I can set it to the zoom factor I'd like. Kurzweil will then hold that zoom to whatever page you turn to. It will also hold the zoom setting for every document you open until you change it. So if I scroll down, it will allow me to see more of the page, and I can certainly zoom in and all the way up to 300%. Another option here under the document view is the ability to change the background color, and I can change the background color other than white to 8 additional colors. I also have the ability within Kurzweil to place it into a dark mode, and when I put Kurzweil into the dark mode, that will change the gray border to a black one. So at this point, I'm going to move on to the next topic for the day, and that's active participation while reading. Reading is not a spectator sport, and active reading techniques really help you stay focused and retain information. We'll look at 2 things. We'll look at the identification of new words with a vocabulary study guide and the bubble notes feature. So the vocabulary study guide, this feature in Kurzweil, allows you to highlight words in a document, then extract those words to create a column notes file to use as a study guide. So the first thing I'll do is actually highlight the words I want in my study guide. And I'm going to choose a highlighter. I'll choose the yellow highlighter and highlight 4 words. I'll highlight influenza, pandemic, virus, and pneumonia. Then to create this vocabulary study guide, I'll move down to the column notes tab, bottom on the left, and then I'll choose the feature on the right, which is extracting these highlights to a vocabulary study guide. So I'll select that. And from here, Kurzweil asks me if I want to open or I can open a new file by selecting OK. Before I select OK, I'm going to deselect all the highlight colors except yellow, and then click OK. And from here, with this column notes file, it opens a 3-column file. On the left, I have the vocabulary word itself. Then I have the first definition and the second, if there is one. And from here, I can do several things to begin studying what these words mean. I can first, certainly, obviously, have the text read aloud.
An acute, contagious viral infection of humans.
I can also hide columns if I want to test or quiz myself. I'll go ahead and hide the second column, and I'll do the same for the third column. And now I'll have them show again. Another option is to change the column headers. I'm going to change the third column header, and it's going to say my definition. And from here, I'm going to create my own definitions for these words. Often a dictionary definition alone isn't enough for students to remember what a word means, but by creating your own definition or paraphrasing, it can help with increased understanding and certainly long-term retention of those new words. So anywhere within Kurzweil that you have the ability to type, you also can use Kurzweil's speech-to-text feature, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. So my word is influenza, and I'll choose the speech-to-text button. The flu is a contagious respiratory illness caused by viruses that infect the nose, throat, and sometimes the lungs, period. Okay. And from here, if I wanted to, I could certainly print this document. I'm going to go ahead and select Save As. And when I choose Save As, I can give it a unique name. And I also want to save this to my social studies folder, which is where this article lives. So on the right, I'll choose Save As. I'm going to choose my folder. And I'll give this a unique name. Flu pandemic. And save. And I'll close it. So moving on, another way to promote active reading, there are many, but another way is through the use of bubble notes. Now, bubble notes in Kurzweil are typically created by teachers to give students additional instructions or to pose quick questions to assess comprehension. Bubble notes can also keep students focused and on task if you place them in strategic places in the document. Additionally, they help to break up the reading into manageable sections or chunks. So I've gone ahead and already created a bubble note. We'll first take a look at that, and then I'll create one with you. So I'm going to read the last sentence, and then you'll actually see the bubble note automatically populate.
Researchers later discovered what made the 1918 pandemic so deadly. In many victims, the influenza virus had invaded their lungs and caused pneumonia. As you continue reading, think about the reasons why the 1918 flu virus became such a deadly pandemic.
So at this point, as an instructional tool, I wanted my students reading this to really think about why the 1918 virus became such a deadly pandemic. I'll go ahead and create one now with you. So I want to create another one toward the end of this text. I'm going to turn to page 3. When I change pages, I can do that by using the big arrow on the right, or I can type my page number in, which I'll do, and click Go. And from here, I want to go ahead and add a bubble note. I'm going to place my cursor before the word official. And then on the left, I'll select notes and choose this bubble note icon in the upper right. And from here, I want this to be a multiple choice question format. So the first thing I'll do is type my question in. The question is going to be, which of the following did the author develop the least in this article? And over to the right, I want this to open before a unit is read. And for the format of the question, I want it to be multiple choice. And I'll just make 2 choices today for time's sake. And these will be phrases, not full sentences. So the first, I'll say, took a long time for researchers to discover. And the second, let's see, whether healthy young people were immune. And I'll click save and let's listen to this. So I'll just start 1 or 2 sentences before. And again, we can then look and listen to the bubble note I just created.
Additionally, hospitals in some areas were so overloaded with flu patients that schools, private homes, and other buildings had to be converted into makeshift hospitals, some of which were staffed by medical students. Which of the following did the author develop the least in this article? Took a long time for researchers to discover whether healthy young people were immune.
Now, if a student were to answer here, there is an easy way for teachers to see their answers. You can use an extract tool where you can extract notes and highlights, and then the teacher can easily see what you've selected for your answer.
Officials in some communities
So to conclude here today, I'm going to move on to demonstrate the summarization of text. Summarization provides a way to stay focused. It also really helps you to distinguish between the important versus unimportant parts of your reading material. In terms of writing, Kurzweil provides you with several starting points for writing, allowing you to use whichever type suits your style of writing or that suits the purpose of your writing assignment. So I'm going to choose one of Kurzweil's writing templates. I'm going to return to the Universal Library. And on the bottom, I'll select the Writing Templates folder. Within the Writing Templates folder, there are 3 subfolders. One for higher education, brainstorm, K-12 brainstorm, and brainstorm for teachers. I'll select the K-12 brainstorm and the summary level 2 writing template, and I'm going to move this to my social studies folder. I'm going to copy it to my social studies folder. And at this point, I'm going to go back and I can open it and begin putting my content in. So here, and just for time's sake, I'm not going to complete the whole thing, but I'll start adding some of it. So from my title, I want the 1918 flu pandemic that killed millions. And for my topic sentence, well, something to point out, anywhere you see a piece of paper, we have created tips or strategies for students on that particular topic. So for instance, if I didn't know what a topic sentence was or how to use it or why it was important, if I select that, it will then give me more information on what a topic sentence is. I'm going to go ahead and include my topic sentence. So I'll select that. And again, here I'm going to use the speech to text feature. The flu pandemic of 1918 was the deadliest of modern history and infected about 1/3 of the world's population at that time, period. Okay, and now I'm just going to move everything down a little bit. Oh, you know what? It didn't get the beginning of my speech there, but I'm going to keep it. Okay, so Kurzweil really does a great job supporting the entire writing process that involves real distinct steps such as pre-writing, writing, revision, and editing. So to conclude here today, I'll point out some additional writing support such as the reference tools, view, and save options. So the reference tools are on the upper right, and they include a dictionary, picture dictionary, synonyms, and translation. The view over to the right obviously allows me to change my view. And I'm going to go ahead, assuming I want to continue writing about this topic. I'm going to change it to an outline view. And I'll also split my screen. And this allows me to reference my outline on the left, and it gives me a draft area on the right. And finally, if I want to save my writing piece, my save options are to save the document. I can choose save as, or I can save out to my Google Drive. So that concludes my portion today.